Hello, everyone, and welcome to another very special episode of Telehealth Tuesday. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Bookhardt, and as always, we have a very special episode lined up just for you. All right, so but look, before we get to my next guest, I know you guys already know who he is. You've seen him everywhere. You've seen him at Jackson State. You've seen him on podcasts. You've seen him on TV and all sorts of other places. But before we get to Dr. Marshall Thompson Jr., I want to let you guys know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms. First and foremost, Dr. B TV. That's the word Dr. Doctor spelled out. The letter B is in boy TV. That is our YouTube page. So please make sure to like, tag, follow, share, all that good stuff. And most importantly, to subscribe, click the button to help support this program. Also, we're on Facebook and Instagram as well. And it's on all of our flyers, all of our social media. And so please follow us on there as well. Now, I want to tell you all about Dr. Marshall Thompson Jr. He's got a brand new book out, and it is called In His Defense. And you can get it multiple places and multiple platforms. I know definitely I spoke with him. It's available on Amazon, and then he'll also likely have some locally for purchase, and likely make sure you get him to autograph it too. This young man is an amazing guy. He's become a friend of mine over these last few months, clinical psychologist, life coach, gym owner, and even an MMA champion. All right, I can't say enough good things about him, but I want to bring him out and let him tell you more all about himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stand and cheer for the one, the only, the incomparable, my friend, Dr. Marshall Thompson Jr. Give it to him, y'all. All right. How you doing, my brother? I think you're on mute there. I think you're still on mute there. Well, it says you're not on mute, but can you guys hear him? I can't hear you. Hello to the Instagram family while he's getting adjusted over there. Let's see. We can see. You want to try coming out and coming back in? I don't know if you. Let's see here. We see you. Let's see.
Let me see.
Okay, now I'm hearing you. Okay. We were hearing you right there. Now we're not hearing you. There's an echo button on there as well. If you click the little cogwheel, the settings button. I wonder if you want to try coming back in. Sometimes we have to do that. Let me see. Let me kick speaker there. Okay. Just bear with us, good people. I want to take a minute to say hello to our Instagram family. We see we're joined by Charles 82, Titus Allen, Sweet Justice, LaShawn, Life Picks, some of our newer names and faces. So big shout out to you guys for being, some of you all being first time viewers. And if you're not, and to, of course, all of our return viewers, thank you so much for supporting us. So stay tuned. We'll bring Dr. Thompson right back in. He's going to come on back. Sometimes you know how this is, good people. This is live. And so, hey, that's what happens. But the devil's trying to be busy, but he will not get the best of us. And there we go. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, there you go, bro. There we go, right there. I can hear you there.
Okay. Not sure what was going on, but glad to be back again. Glad to see Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Good to see you. How you feeling?
Yeah, super fantastic. And no complaints.
Awesome. I want to just real kind of muffled. I don't know if you're it's just kind of a little bit muffled there.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's just, but yeah, we can. That's good, man. That's cool. It's like I said, it's just a little bit muffled. So I don't know if you were using a different microphone or headphones or anything.
No, just been on the computer, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
If I can grab a pair, I'm not sure if they even work on my computer.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. We're gonna roll with it. So yeah, man, tell us. It's good to see you again. Tell us all about. Well, before we get to the book and some of the questions and some of the things that have been prepared, tell us all about yourself. For these first time viewers, who you are, where you're from, where you got your education, and what you're doing these days.
All right. My name is Dr. Marshall Thompson Jr. Born and raised in South and West Jackson, back and forth. So I'm a native of Jackson. I moved off to the DC area in the early 2000s to fight. And I fought there on Team Lord Irving for a while. Spent about 10 years there. Came back. While I was out there, I was in the PhD program a little bit at Howard for a couple of years, and got back here. Jackson State was basically calling me to get back in, so I got into the program there. My goal was to really come back and do a great work in South Jackson, really to try to help better the community in South Jackson. We got a lot of blight, we have a lot of drainage of um, income as far as and education in South Jackson, West Jackson area. So my goal was to come back and really get my PhD in psychology to really make a hub for kids and youth in the area. We're going to give some psychoeducation and some free therapy for youth in South Jackson. That's the goal, and really create a school of performing arts. And really partner up with my best friend, Ronnie Cooper Jr. We started the Development Academy over there, and he's been doing a lot with that. It was to do it at the Stanley School, really do the School of Performing Arts, but he's picked that up and went forth with the right now the ARC, a lot of basketball things going on. So now I'm coming in to try to add in the other component that needs to be there, which is the psychoeducation part for the community. I really want to look at some job training and some skills training. I was a UPS supervisor for about 13 years. So I really want to add in a lot of that too for the HR aspect to try to help these kids get better. I feel like we go through a lot of trauma in our communities, in African American communities, and other communities, they don't mind going to see therapists. Right? And they'll say it's okay to go to a therapist. They go to see a therapist if their dog died.
Right. Right.
We have trauma in our households, drugs, everything, abuse. And I'm all right. I don't need a therapist. You crazy? You go to a therapist. I don't need a therapist. So my job, I got a chance to do my internship at the VA, and it was just amazing here in Jackson because so many people really couldn't believe that I was a clinical psychologist. And two of us came through at the same time, the first African Americans to come through there. And it was just amazing seeing the response and rapport they would be built with those veterans, man. So I had a good time there and got a chance to add to my tool belt because there you got a chance to work with PTSD, and I really want to go there because of that. There's a lot of PTSD and addictions. Before then, my levels were really anger, anxiety, and depression, and working with a lot of that. And I like relationship work. So it's been a great opportunity really to be here, and people want me to move out, but I didn't come back here to get started to move out. So really looking forward to partnering up with people like you, others in the community that's really trying to do a great work. So I appreciate you again for allowing me on this platform.
Absolutely, man. We're glad to have you. You talked about some different things, working with the youth and couples therapy, and which one of these do you find that you center on one more than the other? Or one is maybe more of your interest or strong suit, or what's your major focus and interest?
So interesting enough, I'm gonna just say it. I feel like I'm gifted, right? And that's a gift of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a passion of mine is work with the youth, but also a passion of mine to keep relationships together and help relationships thrive. Because if you can't thrive in a relationship and you got all these kids and youth coming through them, that system is like a cesspool. So you're feeding them nothing that's going to help them sustain. If the parents are unhealthy and dysfunctional, you have unhealthy and dysfunctional children. So I really enjoy both, to be honest with you. And then on the other side, I'm an athlete, so I love sports performance. I love working with that to help people perform, and that really works in every aspect of your life. But people don't realize that all those things, once I started looking at it and started seeing it, I really understood it growing up throughout my life, but I just didn't have the technical names for it and how to fix it and what to do with it. So recognizing that most of the problems that we have come from our thought processes, right? Whether it be anger, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be cognitive distortion dealing with your family, whatever it might be, it really comes from how we think about things. So when you look at it, How many people on here can say that they've been in a car and I'm in the car and I recognize somebody always swerved to me, and immediately my mind would go to this. They're trying to run me off the road. What the hell wrong with you? My kid in the car, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. But realizing that it had nothing to do with what that person did, it had everything to do with how you think about what that person did. And that's how I look at the with the relationships, the whole 9 yards, the whole miracle. If you would thought in that moment, hey, guess what? That person might not have saw me just like I didn't see a person who's in my blind spot. They may
Hmm.
be tired, they may be sleepy, they may be sick, they may have had a long day at work, whatever it may be. You'd be more inclined to say, it's all right, have a good day, you know?
Right.
So the same thing works in our relationships and how we look at things and how we treat our children and how we treat our spouses. It's all it all centers around how we look and how we think about things and how we've been trained and our lenses as we look in our community. And you can't come through you, Doc. How many people have you come in contact with that have a broken ankle or a broken arm,
Hmm.
and then you just want to go, Doc? Can I go back to playing sports next week? Can I
Right. 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 Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. And so the same way it doesn't work that way with that, it doesn't work that way with what we've gone through in our household, seeing a lot of trauma. And that's why we have all these unhealthy relationships happening because you end up trauma bonding and getting relationships with people that you should not be in a relationship with because you can't be healthy with somebody if you're not healthy apart. And so
That's
once you start looking at those things and helping people be healthy apart, now we have more relationships. And also people look at situations and talk about the other person in the relationship. It's this person, it's that person, it was my ex-wife, it was my
hmm
ex-husband. Well, we got to look at it and recognize that you have to take ownership and accountable to the fact that if you got with somebody that was unhealthy, what did that say about you and how healthy you are and your lenses are?
mm.
Mm. And then
Yeah.
look at how long you stay in those relationships. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that we have to uncover, and a lot of us don't recognize that we have different color lenses.
That's
Your
right.
household, and almost every family has some type of dysfunction. It's just the level of how much the dysfunction is, right? But
Absolutely.
when we're with those people and we have in those relationships and we care in relationships, we don't know that that's not right. We don't know that this is not the way you love somebody. This is the way you treat somebody.
Right.
So when we get in a relationship, something wrong with you. You're not doing it like how my dad is subconsciously, or how my mom did, or what I should expect. And we laugh all the time. We hear people say, when not using the word laugh, but some people do laugh and they snork at them and look at them and say, I don't know how somebody would say that when they say, I married this person didn't love me because he didn't beat me. I feel like
Yeah.
if he beat me, and this shows the level of unhealthiness. But when you live in a society or relationships, when you felt like, hey, I knew that my mom or my dad got jealous, they really cared about my dad. They really cared about my mom.
Hmm.
So now when I don't see that, I start recognizing that maybe he doesn't care about me. And we look at that through our community in different ways. And I'm tying a lot together in one period of time, but validation, right? In our communities, people get mad at me when I say this. But I say reparations is not what needs to be done in our community. And I'm gonna tell you,
Mm. You
thank you why.
hold
Yes,
before and before sorry before I want to see if we can change this audio up just a little. If you'll and hopefully that this doesn't mess up, but if you see that there's a settings button like a little cogwheel, like a little
yeah.
six. Okay, if you click that, let's see if we can get if you click audio on that left side,
Okay, I'm on it now.
and then there's like echo cancellation and auto gain
Yeah.
control.
Uh-huh.
Can you
Uh-huh.
click those? Let's see if, and background noise reduction, all three of those.
Okay, they're
Let's
already on. Echo cancellation is on.
okay.
Auto gain is on. Background noise on is checked, and then stereo audio input is not on.
No, okay. Now, those were already checked, or you just checked them?
They're already checked.
Okay. And then your audio input, what is that set to when you click up
It's not
top?
on there. Okay, audio input. It says I've. Okay, I know what's probably going on. It looked as if it's the hook to my iPhone.
Yeah, see, that's what I was. Yeah,
That's
you
what you can.
using a laptop? Yeah, if you use the
On
default
my laptop for some reason.
laptop, change it to iMac to your iMac or whatever laptop mic it is. Say built in. Oh wait, now okay, now it muted. It went. If you change it to the default built in, like if it's is it an iMac Mac computer? Yeah, it's still muted now. I guess. Well, we just go back to what you had because we could hear you. It was just, just a little. It was just a little muted there, muffled. Yeah, you might have to change it back to your phone there.
Now, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. You put it
Is
back
it
to.
good?
Yeah, that's better. You got the echo cancellation on. Okay,
Let me try. Let me try the default.
that's
Let me see.
good. Well, yeah. Okay.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know it hooked to my phone. I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, no problem. That's why we able to try to troubleshoot it. But that's all good, my brother. All right. Yeah, now we can hear you good and clear. Man, I wanted to before you started on why you don't support reparations, we wanted to and then we'll get to these comments over here. I see Dexter Mayberry, Jasmine Briscoe, good to see you all as always, each and every Tuesday. All right. So what was this you were saying about reparations now?
So I personally don't support reparations right off. Right. When you look at statistics, right, if a person that hasn't had any money, they win the lottery today, within a year, they're going to be back broke. Right? It's proven. On the other side, a person who's a multimillionaire or were well off, they go bankrupt today. Within a year, they've gained that back plus some. So in our communities, we've learned to find validation through things, right? Not coming from our inner. So anytime you have validation coming from something outer and not inner, you'll never be able to sustain it. It's gonna always something's always gonna get better. All right, something's always gonna be better. Just like Christmas when you're a kid, you get a toy,
Right.
when you first get it, you're playing with it, and then after a week, you done threw it away, you done broke it. So something else somebody else. So with us in our society, because we have all of these maladaptive processes that we use, until we work on the inner, there's no use in giving us these things that's going to affect the outer, because we try to get validation from what we look like, what we have, what our house looks like, what this person had. And if we don't fix the things that cause this drain to happen, we only going to, they'll give us the reparation. They're going to be laughing and say, I told you we shouldn't have gave them nothing because all they did was use it. We're going to give it. And guess what we're going to do with our money? Most of our money goes back to the white community anyway. So we're gonna get the reparations and they're gonna get it right back, and it will be the same place that we were in. It's a problem. So I think the money first should go. I didn't say we shouldn't get it, but the money first should go to our educational systems and our psychological welfare and well-being to kind of help us to kind of bridge some of those gaps and then give it to us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to see if anybody wanted to weigh in there. We've got a few people here coming in and on Instagram. That's an interesting viewpoint. Kind of like you don't support giving a hand. Was it you prefer to give a hand up, not a hand out? I think that's what it is. Yeah. Some of these things, man. It wasn't until I got into the world of being an actual physician, because I had these ideals and these things that I supported, and like, man, we should, definitely support government assistance and giving this out. Now, who would be selfish enough to not support it? But then when you actually get in there and you've worked hard, your whole 20 or 30 years of life, and you finally gotten to this place, and then you've got other people on there, and I'm certainly not saying that people that receive assistance are, it's bad, but there are so many who do abuse it, and it's just a handout. And so then that sector just remains where they are, whether it's poor and disenfranchised, and you have the top 2% like we have now that are doing well. So I do see what you're saying. My mindset has shifted because I was all 100% democratic principles my whole life. And then when you got a little older and understood more, it's like, well, wait a minute, we need some of those programs, but we can't just be shelling out and giving out, because that's not going to do something. And like you said, the person going to go broke if they don't get the next check next month.
Yep, and the education piece has to be there, because if not, we don't know what we do with what we got. So now once we get it, we just throw it back out. There's so many things that we need in our communities that we are behind on. And it's not our fault, but there's a lot that needs to be done to kind of help us on that mental aspect of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing we have a few comments here. Jazz mindset comes with self-confidence as well. You're okay. Yeah, they were making some comment. Absolutely. By the way, so tell us, Tell us all about this book of yours, man. In His Defense, like, what is that about? And tell us, what do we need to know before we go on Amazon to go ahead and click purchase on there?
All right. So I came about this title because I was having a lot of different therapy clients, couples therapy clients. And in it, I kept hearing the same thing. The husband was saying, "Man, thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you." It's like now finally somebody understands what I'm saying. And then I go to another person. It's the same thing. Go to another person. It was the same thing. And I started recognizing that it was a pattern, right? And a lot of these men were frustrated. And a lot of them said that they didn't want to do counseling because the therapists were really biased,
Hmm.
right? And biased because they always, and we hear in our community sometimes, especially a guy does something or the woman leaves or the woman cheats. And then the first thing people say is, "Oh, what did he do?"
What did he do?
What did he do?
What did he do?
All right.
Yeah.
When that's erroneous, because, and I say it all the time, even in the media, when we look at media, and they have a great deal of a role to play in this too. When we look at media, we are categorized as African American men as
Hmm.
the absolute worst, right?
Hmm.
Whether it be crime, whether it be education, we rarely see any African American doctors on anything.
That's
It's
right.
always the top, right? The statistics show that's not true at all. Even the statistics that are out, or people say that we're deadbeat fathers, when they actually show that we're the most active fathers right now, right? And
Wow.
and
Which is
there's so much, even with the crime. Caucasians commit far more crimes than we do per capita, even. Right?
absolutely.
But they're not punished the same. Right? And we can go back to the war on drugs and the whole 9 yards where they crack cocaine compared to just cocaine, how they treated, even though the same drug, how the
Hmm.
penalty was for it. But anyway, so now when we get into that, we're looked at in our whole society and communities as if we're the bad person, men, period. But then when it turns along, African American men are even worse.
Mm.
We're treated as if we're the bottom of somebody's shoe. And people don't recognize it, but we're being fed this. I've even showed or told African American men and African American women statistics. I did a dissertation looking at the effects of media on African American relationships and all the false narratives that they put out in the media. And people
Hmm.
argue with me, they wouldn't believe me. I know, no, men, black men, the worst. It's only because they're looking at all these media outlets, and then we
All the
find
media.
people, not one of the people that jumping on Tyler Perry bandwagon, but a lot of the roles that are in those movies and other movies show us as being beneath,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Every time.
I was listening to these guys, and it immediately clicked to me what was going on. Because when you're looking at people and you're really being unbiased, and I'm an unbiased person, I call a spade, you really start listening and recognizing, oh, you're calling him aggressive, or you're calling him controlling
Hmm.
because he reacted to what you were doing in the beginning that was really trying to control him and manipulate him. But now when he says it, it's a problem.
Mm.
I saw a lot of that, and I started breaking. No, no, but you don't understand. No, I understand. Yeah, I would say a couple of weeks ago, I was dealing with a client, and she was the couple, and she came in. She really wanted me to get on him, and I didn't do it the way she wanted me to do it. And somebody might
Hmm.
raise an eyebrow with this because she said, I've been dealing with her for almost, well, I said about 7 or 8 months, and she stated how he hit her,
Mm.
and I'm
Mm.
I'm looking at character, and I pay attention to people.
Yeah.
For one, this is a professional athlete. He's a pitcher. Me just recognizing who I'm dealing with and his demeanor and the whole 9 yards, he throws 90 something miles per hour fastballs. All right. So in my brain, I'm immediately looking at, okay, you send me anything else. You didn't send me any pictures of this, show me the bruises.
Right.
I don't have any pictures. She didn't have any pictures because it didn't leave a bruise. So I started digging.
That's what she said. It didn't leave her.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So I'm listening. I'm dissecting the cases I normally do. And when I talked to him, he said, "That's not what happened at all." He said, "She tried to swing at me, tried to hit me, and out of my reflex, I just moved her. I moved her, but in her mind, but there's no instance at all. Should a man ever
Yeah.
hit a woman?
Right.
That's what she's going."
Yeah.
And I said, "In no instance at all should anybody ever hit anybody.
Did anybody hit anybody?
Anybody hit anybody." So I'm about being fair and not creating this dynamic that you're trying to create. Let's see if it, well, I was frustrated. So let me ask you this. If you were frustrated enough to hit him or try to hit him when you didn't hit him, how frustrated must he have been to probably want to hit you but couldn't because of the man he can't hit anybody?
Right.
In the midst of it now, you try to hit him and he deflects you and try to get you out of the way, out of the reflex. How much more frustrated he is now that now he's dealing with this when he was really defending himself in the moment. Why doesn't he have the right to be upset or to be frustrated when you do? And a lot of people don't look at that. Well, because I'm a one. Why? I see these Pop the Balloon shows, and I always
Oh man.
man, I don't watch the show, but I watch the clips.
The clips are the clips
And
are
I will see these women going off on this guy. Oh my goodness, he's this, he's this, and this and this and this and this and that. All right. But then when he comes back and says something, he's being sassy.
Right. Yeah. It's sassy.
That's the word I see. That's the word I see.
Sassiness.
A lot.
We get you, Dr. Bryant. We got you there. Okay.
So why is it, and this is before I get into it more depth, why is it that your feelings are more important than his feelings? And then we talk about how we want men to express how they feel, but then when they express how they feel, if the backlash is this person is being sassy, what results are you going to get from how are you conditioning this person? And then we start back from children, right?
Yeah.
Ways of talk.
Absolutely.
You don't cry.
Don't cry. You got to be a real man. Excuse me. I see the questionnaire, Dr. Brian. Good, and it's good to see. I think this is what, excuse me, third or fourth week, Dr. Brian. We really appreciate the support. You know, she's, yeah, I don't know if you all already know each other, but she's done a lot of big things, Mississippi and beyond, and was one of my professors, attending doctors while I was training at UMC in my residency. And I had her on the show a few weeks ago. Man, we had a great show, and she's been so supportive. So she wanted to know, did in your story, did she admit that she took a swing at him?
She admitted it.
She took a swing?
She admitted it, but she still wouldn't be accountable.
So she admitted, and he
just
admitted
once we was both in the couples session. She admitted it, but she would not be accountable, and she went into the reasons of why and what he had done and her reason, and she still would not. And think about it, I was the worst person in the world. She loves me though, because I keep it real with her. They come often, but in that moment, I was the worst person in the world because I didn't just agree with her that there's no reason why he still shouldn't have done that, and she was going.
Yeah.
So it was bad. And that's one of the other things that I noticed too, and which I put in the lack of accountability. And we talk about this, and it happens all over. And this couple, I deal with all type of couple. This couple is a Caucasian couple, but it's the same exact dynamics that I see all across the board, plus or minus some things, right? And within it, she was really upset, and she didn't want to be accountable. She still, I don't think she still has apologized for her role in that at all at this point in time at all, which was very bad. And I noticed in our societies too, there are a lot of guys that often talk about how women don't want to apologize. They think something it's not something that's just made up. All right.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot as well, and of course, I'm not a psychologist or therapist, but I play one on TV every now and then, but a lot of times they'll come into the clinics, and especially when I was, or even when I was at UMC, where we're seeing people from all walks of life, all ages, even children in our department. And you would see these social dynamics. And, sometimes we talk about getting lost in the sauce, and that's why, you're in a residency pro, you're learning to focus. And so somebody's there for their hypertension or diabetes, but you're also seeing in the background, folks are doing these other things. Or there was a, you know what, I'll let me give this one real quick, man, because you talk about the dynamics. There was a couple there, well known. One was a pastor, senior pastor, and his wife came in, and so she had an abnormal urine test, an abnormal urinalysis, and we saw something on there that looked to be possibly a sexually transmitted infection. And so I remember telling the lady, I said, ma'am, why don't we go ahead and, let's continue this just with us. I'd like to talk about some sensitive information. Then bring your husband back. And she said, young man, whatever you got to say to me, you can say in front of my husband, the bishop. And I said, well, man, let me respectfully, I would like to discuss this with you, and then later on we can bring your husband back in the room, and let's see if we come up with something. Again, young man, whatever you got to say in front of me, you can say in front of my husband of 42 years, the bishop. I said, well, unfortunately, the labs have come back and they've returned. Looks like you might have a sexually transmitted. And the bishop, he put the magazine down. A sexually what? A what? And so, but I brought that up just to say, we don't know who the culprit was in that one, but it was like both were immediately defensive. Oh, I know you can't do. And I said, well, hold on, wait a minute. We need to do some confirmatory testing, this, and that. But like you said, even so, no matter if this was very unlikely to be a false positive, but I mean, let's just say if it was nobody's fault, but let's just say if it were, if this was on the woman, right? Like you said, I just find it in our society highly unlikely, especially in the minority community, that the woman would ever say, well, okay, you know what? Hey, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I did this. You were always on the road, you're semi-famous or whatever, because we just don't see it. We're not saying everybody, but like you said, I just find that apologies, taking accountability when it comes to, if it could be the female person being wrong, and hopefully that's not a stepping on shoes, but straight up, right?
And in that, what I noticed and I started tying together, that I don't think it's their fault, right? In a lot of regards. And the reason why I say that is if we're trained from children, when a woman starts crying, then guess what? We need to cuddle them. We need to make sure she's okay. When the door needs to be open, we need to open the door. When we talk that a boy, they need to man up. All right, stop.
That's right.
Don't hit. The girl hits you, and guess what? Don't hit them back, no matter how hard they hit you. The whole 9 yards. All right. I had an incident. I remember an incident when I was in high school. This lady, I guess, picking me because I was really, really small in the ninth grade. I was 5'2", 92 pounds. And this girl who was more masculine female, she, for no reason, used me as her target. And she jumped on top of me, turned my desk over, started hitting. I didn't hit her at all, right? But looking back on it now, I should have slid her,
But you're gonna give her a two-piece, man, a two-piece combo.
Because she was really went in on me and then and she ended up getting expelled. But guess what? For me, I got picked on and teased and everything else throughout the process. But when you live under that type of process, what does that now do? It tells me later on that I'm above the law, right? I don't have to abide by the same standards that other people abide by, all right, especially males. And I can get away with it. If I cry, I can get away with it, right? And even in a lot of marriages, well, why don't he just divorce me? Because the system a lot of times isn't set up the same to where if they just do that, then guess what? Who loses the most? Most times, who get the children?
Mm-hmm.
The wife does.
The wife.
Yeah, who gets the money and the different things, who has to get out of the house.
The
Well,
wife.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
gets all that. So it isn't the same. So now I pose the question. I pose the question, even put it in my book. We talk about narcissism, and a lot of women use that word,
Oh man. You know, come on, man.
right?
Come on.
A lot of them use that word. But when we look at it, two of the characteristics that we look at is that distinguishes a narcissist person from other people is a grandiose sense of self, right? They believe that they're in high esteem or whatever, anybody else. Also, a lack of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So now, not saying that most women are narcissists today, but a lot of women have a lot of characteristics that surely teeter on with it when we look at this now. Because now I've been taught to treat people as if, or men, as if I'm better than them.
Hmm.
I don't care about your feelings. Your feelings don't matter. I can say whatever I want to say. And guess what? You can't hit me. And you should. And then a lot of them will use that, but then they weaponize their verbal ability to really tear a person down. I can't tell you the amount of women that I've heard say that they really use their words to hurt their husband. It's intentional.
And they would admit that in
Yeah,
the session therapy center.
in the sessions, once we start talking, especially individual, they use it because they know they would hurt them. But on the other side, that's their strength. But what if a husband used his strength? Because women can even understand babies better than men, all right? Because that language factor that they have to be able to understand a little bit better. But they're stronger physically. If he used what he had, how would that be looked at in society? So I think that not caring about how the men feel and doing all these other things and how society has positioned women to feel like they're superior. And most of them also tell me that they believe they're smarter than their husband. I believe that they say it all the time behind the scenes. And then guess what? That helps their controlling nature. Because if I believe that I'm smarter than you when you're saying something, I'm really not listening. And then
Mm-hmm.
therefore, I think that my solution is better than your solution. I saw a documentary a couple of years ago. It was with transgenders and seeing how they are navigating through and following through the story. And it was a transgender male who said that well,
Yeah, right.
I get confused with that.
Yeah.
So,
Pronoun.
so basically, he had never felt so stupid. She said, when I was a female, as an African American female, I never felt like that. I was never asked the questions I've asked, and I wasn't treated this type of way on my jobs and whole nine yards. But it's obvious that I feel bad for males because I never knew that it was this bad, and that carries
Mm.
on into relationships, and then the strain, and is having this negative thought pattern and it just piles on and piles on. So that's one of the things I talked about as well. But I spent a bulk of time explaining where these things came from, but
Mhm.
even more time explaining how we both get on one accord and get balanced again, not
It's
just one
interesting.
side, and not just looking for one person.
I mean, that's fascinating. I want to and look before we get to Dr. Brian's question. Oh, actually, two things. I'm going to do my pause for the calls that just for all the people that have come in. But the other thing is what's so funny. I see the numbers going up a little bit when they come in. But man, this is some interesting, if you want to say, juicy material. And so I see that they're creeping on in, but they're not saying anything. But look, this is a safe zone, everyone. So please ask your questions, make your comments. So this is what we're here for. We've got a clinical psychologist here, so if you agree, disagree, hey, it's all good. We want to hear from you. But this is Telehealth Tuesday, where we're here each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m., God willing, where we have the best and brightest here, amazing guests. This is the second time we've been fortunate to have Dr. Marshall Thompson on here. We're also supporting and promoting his new book, In His Defense. And we're talking all things, not only psychology and mental health, and everything in between. So, all right, Dr. Brian's question and comment. I think there is some historical context for women here, though. Is it narcissism, or at least some of them have found their voices to speak up? because there was a time that they couldn't. Just my thoughts.
And again, for me, looking at it and what I'm seeing what I see. But sometimes we backpedal back, in my opinion, because it is a female that is saying it, that I'm saying it about, what's going on with. And what I've noticed from what I'm seeing, this person did never not had a voice. We might look in historically on what happened historically, but for us, we don't have any evidence of anything in the relationship showing that she didn't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for me, I don't see it. And I see it too often, and I see it for exactly what it is. And what I'm saying is narcissistic traits, and a lot of them are straight narcissistic. And also, when you look at that, you'll find the nature of. I'm going to switch it a little bit, right? So a lot of women state that they're getting in a relationship with narcissists. Okay, right? But it goes both ways. Narcissists normally link up with a codependent person.
Mm.
Right? We call it the dance. Right? There's one that needs to be held at this high esteem, right? And then on the other side, the other one needs to feel needed. And they don't realize it. They like the help, but a lot of times their liking the help is really masked in the need to be needed. You even find a lot of healthcare
Okay.
professionals, whole 9 yards, right? So you get with this person. So what's happening is a lot of what we've gone through as children affects how we mate and we link up with these different people, right? So, for instance, let's break it down a little bit further. So, if we look at when we were a child and during our childhood, we didn't get um, applause or love or accolades until we did something
Mm-hmm.
that causes a problem, right? Because I don't have unconditional positive regard. I don't know that like a baby. Babies come into the universe and they're loved. They the most obnoxious things, the
Yeah.
sickness things. They cry, they scream.
Damn. Absolutely.
But we don't look at it like that. We look at it and say, guess what? I love them because they're my baby.
Mm-hmm.
But when you grow up in a system of not recognizing that or not being taught that, it changes what you need to feel loved. So now maybe I felt love when I made an A on the test. Maybe I felt this. So now I got to try to earn something. So now I'm only getting with people in which I need to prove myself with. So now I'm getting in these relationships also where somebody didn't really pay me much attention, like a parent in the home. So
Mm-hmm.
that dynamic, it's the perfect dance. One unhealthy piece has to get with this unhealthy piece, right? So the same thing happens when you're dealing with your children as they grow up in that same household. I'm hoping not spend too much time on this. I want to make sure you guys understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
In that same household, if one child who was in a healthy system was told by his friends, "Oh, if you don't smoke today, man, we ain't never dealing with you at all." Yada yada. One of them is going to say, "Hey, okay, I'll do it," all right, because they think they got to earn something. On the other
Right.
side, the other one come from a healthy household. The parents told them, "You know what? I punish you, but I still love you." You know, yeah. In that system, they're gonna say, "Man, well, take it and leave it. I don't need you as a friend anyway," and keep moving. And it affects us all the way through our life and who we get with and how we start linking up with people. So we get in a lot of unhealthy relationships, and this codependent nature starts
Mm-hmm.
rising up even more and more and more. And the narcissistic person that I want to deal with in a room full of unhealthy people. If you find a person who's truly codependent, right? You can have a room full of healthy people, I'm sorry, and one narcissistic person.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to gravitate to that one person to meet their needs, if that makes sense.
You're saying that if it's a room full of healthy people, are you saying that those people, a healthy person is going to gravitate towards the narcissistic
No, no,
person?
no, no. If it's a room full of healthy person and one narcissistic person in there,
Mm-hmm.
all right? So let's say if it was a bunch of women, all right? And you were doc, let's say that you were codependent. There were 99 healthy women that have healthy emotional regulation and one narcissistic female.
Mm-hmm.
With you being a codependent person, you would ignore the rest of them and get with that one narcissistic person. because they stand
Mm.
out to you. They meet my needs and what I need and what I need to give. And a lot of people think they really like to give when it's really masked behind a need to be needed. They didn't feel needed and validated in their households.
Okay, and that's the codependent person who's doing that.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And they both come from, we can't talk about it now, they both come from the same type of system. It's just one's end up being
Mm.
codependent, one end up being narcissistic, right? There's a lot that goes within that. But what I'm noticing is there are some guys that fit the characteristics, but I'm finding that a lot more, if we look at the DSM, we can make up whatever reason we want to make up from. This happened back then. If he's a sociopath, he's a sociopath. All right.
Right.
When we look at DSM, he just fit the characteristics. And I'm noticing that a lot of them are fitting those characteristics. And I also talked to a female therapist a couple months ago, and she said, "Man, I don't know what's happening with the dynamics." She said,
Mm.
"Because there are more women in my couple session that have been unfaithful than there are men. There's been a constant trend of these other things. And I'm wondering if that is a new dynamic or trend or some things that we really been closing our eyes to. Even when you look at it earlier in high school, different other places, when if a girl turns down sex, it's fine. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if a guy turns down sex, he's got to be gay.
Yeah, he's gay. There's
He's
something wrong with him, man.
What's wrong with it? I think our minds have been trained in such a way that even this happy wife, happy life scenario, that's a narcissistic trait.
Mm.
Happy house, happy spouse. Both people deserve to be happy because if you in this mindset of happy wife, happy life, there's only one person in the house you worry about being happy. What about the man's happiness too? We both should be meeting each other's needs. So the book kind of breaks down how to recognize in the areas that I've seen coming that the man might feel slighted and get him on a page to where he's able to better hear you and better understand you and make sure his needs are getting met. Because if your needs not getting met, doc, if your car runs on gas and I keep putting orange juice in it, I don't care what you do, it's not gonna run.
It's over with. Over with.
And then some of the things that men talk about and say that they want, it's a book called His Needs, Her Needs by Willard F. Harley. One of the biggest institutes, the Christian Institute that kept together the most marriages after infidelity and anything is marriagebuilders.com is the website. But in that, we recognize that most of the men's needs, the highest men needs are the lowest women's needs.
Mm.
All right. So most of the time, people try to love based off the way that they like to love or the way that they feel loved, to say it that way. So not realizing that I love orange juice, but as much as I put in your gas tank, if that ain't what makes you move,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to move. And then the other double negative of it comes back to when we go into a place of thinking, hey, because he feels this way, he's got to be superficial. And I hear it all the time. And this is one of the ones too. Oh my goodness, that a lot of women can't stand, especially with men. They say, you know what? I like for my woman to be fit or to be this or to take care of this aspect. Who are you to talk about my body and my relationship? But on the other side, it's okay though for you to say that, hey, this man needs to make this amount of money,
This amount of money. Yeah.
or he needs to work this amount of hours to have this degree. What makes yours more important than the other person? One of them is fitting the need. So well, I don't need that. Okay. So what if he says, I say this all the time, especially when I have couples that say that he wants you to care about yourself the way you want him to care about you. What if, just like you decided you're not going to take care of your health anymore, work out anymore?
Mm-hmm.
What if he says, I'm not going to work anymore? Would you still be able to love me for me? Can he say you should love me for me? Well, baby, why does it matter? I want you
That'd
to
be the end. That'd be the end of that counseling session for them.
the end of
They'd
it.
be walking out. They'd be
Walk it
gone.
out. But guess what? Both we have to be more concerned about the other's needs than
Mm-hmm.
we are about our needs. Right?
So,
Not saying that we aren't both taking care of our needs too, but
right.
if your mindset is only about what I want, I want, and never look at what the other person wants, you're not even seeing how you guys can be missing each other just because you're not even hearing. It might be something simple.
You know this is fascinating. You know this reminds me of some of the Kevin Samuels content. I want before I get to a kind of a burning question I had. What was your thoughts on what brother Kevin Samuels? Man, I know a lot of people because see what happened is a lot of people didn't want to hear it, and especially the women. Excuse me, because his delivery was so kind of brash and negative. His delivery was, negative. So, but if you found a way to get past that, you guys are kind of saying the same thing, like it's not just happy wife, happy life. It's about both people's needs should matter the same. But what were your, do you have any thoughts on Kevin Samuels?
Oh my goodness, man. Kevin Samuel had a lot of great points. He just didn't have the back end. I think his delivery sometimes maybe have turned people off, but I think it was what was needed because women are quick to say, oh, I'm not dating him because he's short. But on the other side, when he says because you had these amount of kids or this going on, it was a problem. So I agree with a lot of what Kevin Samuel says. It's just some of his the way he approached it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could have been a little better to keep them engaged. But I've seen a lot of women looking at his stuff saying that, hey, I learned a lot from Kevin Samuels.
Oh yeah, he was a thought-provoking guy.
I can see exactly. I knew exactly what he was talking about when he was saying it.
Dr. Brian is saying, broken record. I gotta grab a copy of your book. These wives stepping out are also stepping out with someone. I see a lot of men and women with both sides of this relationship combo. I would have to check the literature for actual stats, but it's really hard for me to generally grasp that women are the majority problem. Relationships or teamwork both have to give 100%.
Now, that's something the book says. I never said that. I'm spending time, Doc, talking. But what we can say is looking at the literature and the media, there isn't much attention given to what men's problems are in relationships.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree with that.
So what I'm doing is shedding light on what has been mirage for so long in a safe space and give both men and women the opportunity to share. So in the book, it explains that women is not all women's fault either. I say that in the first introductory. All right. Love it. It's not all women's fault either. But we do need to talk about the things that we need to talk about. If not, let's go ever get better. People always wonder, a lot of women I found, especially Steve Harvey came out with the book, Act Like a Man, Think Like a Woman.
Oh man, that's
guess what? And a lot of people were running and listen to that garbage. Why? Because it goes into the natural order of wanting to nurture, but also wanting to change a man. You cannot change a man. And people always think that, guess what? Men don't know what they want. Yes, they do. And if you think a man don't know he won't, guess what? Number one factor is he don't want you. All right? That's the problem. He just may not have said it the way because, well, why don't he just say that? Because guess what? He got some benefits that he still want to get out of this situation if you're going to allow him to get it. He gonna keep pulling that slot machine, and as long as it's greased, he gonna keep.
And then he's a narcissist.
Yeah. But you're getting something out of it too. What are we both getting out of it? So this book is not a bashing women book, but it is an eye-opening experience for women if you're choosing to open your eyes and be accountable and look at and see. And ask yourself, did I do it? Old man used to say, "Man, eat the meat and spit out the bones. If it don't apply to you, it don't apply to you." All right. But I guarantee you there's something in there that's going to apply to you, going to apply to your friends. And all that. I believe it's something in there going to apply to you, but you can look at it with the objective lens and actually see how this can help my relationship, my marriage, and get closer. I use a lot of objective effectiveness in my book, okay? I talk about that on how to break down getting what you want. That's what objective effectiveness is. Does it mean that you always get what you want? No, because you can't make anybody do anything. It's not about manipulating anybody. But I give you a better avenue of how to present what you want. I remember an old Cosby episode when he said, man, he asked him if he put a steak, Cliff said, put a steak on the garbage lid. You like steak, right? He said, yeah. You put a steak on the garbage lid. Would it still be palatable? No, you don't want it because it's nasty. And a lot of the stuff that we're saying, a lot of stuff that women are saying comes out on the garbage lid sometimes. And we shut down and we can't hear it. Then the opposite side, both men and women get into this power struggle of trying to control. And sometimes, because some men are not as sharp and as swift, not saying it's right, I don't agree with it at all, they go into the physical aspect of it because they're getting beat down so much verbally, but it's her attempt to try to really get what she wants and not really know how to do it. So I teach people how to get what they want, all right, in a healthy way, but also how to gain self-respect effectiveness as well. Learn how to self-respect yourself because I'm not going to, and get out of the fact of trying to react because of how somebody feels, how somebody thinks, or what you think they might act like. Right? That's codependent nature in itself. If I'm always waiting and worried about, just like right now, I don't mean any harm, but I know what I know, and I've seen what I've seen from a lot of people. So in this, I'm not worried about if I hurt your feelings with what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if I did, then I wouldn't be my authentic self. Anytime you're
That's
not
right.
being your authentic self, that's a problem. You have to wonder why. And most of the time, when people can't, most of the time, people in relationships, a lot of people can't even say no and don't realize they have boundary problems.
Mm.
And why? Because as a child or growing up somewhere you didn't recognize it, you fear saying no. Because if you say no, I might lose this person, or they might
Yeah.
not want to be my
Right.
friend anymore. And me, those are your feelings to deal with. Because if I know I didn't disrespect you, I didn't yell at you and encourage you, but I just disagree with you, guess what? It's okay. We
That's
can
all.
disagree.
Yeah.
Relationships, we got to be able to disagree.
You know, that's one of the things one of the kind of burning question I had, because I've had this question personally, and I wanted to get your views and thoughts on and what you recommend to couples. I've always been this type of person, and it might be because of, who knows, psychological trauma. If you know, dad wasn't in the household, whatever, abandonment, I don't know. But if two people are arguing, right, and it gets heated, and so the what I've noticed is that in my just in my personal, in my personal experience, the woman will get so full of emotion, whether it's anger, whatever, and they say, you know what, forget this, screw it, I'm out, or they just gonna walk off and walk away and either drive off or leave the whatever the location, whether it's their home, his home, or just gonna leave, right, and walk off. And then what my thing is always to try to, because I try to help fix problems. I fix problems for a living, with people's health, helping their blood pressure, diabetes. So sometime in personal life, it's like, man, this is an argument. We should be able to just nip this in the bud, man. Let's just figure it out, and move on forward without it getting blown up and saying, I just can't finish this right now. We need to, this is my way of handling it. Respect my way. And I can't deal with this right now. And I want to talk about it later or tomorrow.
That's in the
But
book. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. I'm
what's
gonna say a little bit. Tracy, I see Tracy Banks said something, but I'm gonna come back.
yeah, we'll come back. Tracy, we'll
So
come
guess
back.
what? Women, a lot, not all women, but a lot of women talk about emotional regulation, but they lack it. Okay? All right, I say work on being thermostats and not thermometer.
I remember you said that.
Every
Yeah.
time something happens, you go shoot up to the roof. And that's one of the things that in our community, a lot of people don't like when I say this either, but I've talked to a lot of people, and this is bad, and I'm gonna say it, and it's the truth. I've talked to a lot
Go
of
ahead,
people,
brother.
and I talked to a lot of African American men. And one of the reasons that they told me they've seen, and they didn't know each other. I heard different layers. The reason why they've chosen women of other races, and they talk about Caucasian women, they said one of the things that they've noticed is when I asked her, if I say not right now, a lot of times they'll let me have that not right now. They say, well, when the sisters get to going, they don't stop. But I've heard this goes on both sides, though. I'm just giving that little tap of information. And people not saying that to talk bad about you, saying it so you can look at it and see if there's any truth with it. So what I try to teach my clients to do is work on being mindful. Being mindful, mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment, non-judgmentally, and learn how to do that. And instead of being a thermometer, be a thermostat, turn your knob down. Your brain can't think about two things at the same time. That's why you always hear people say, don't give me your undivided attention. I want your attention. So when you start dividing your attention, guess what? How many times have you been mad with a best friend or been a spouse or a girlfriend or anybody, and they made you laugh in the midst of being mad? You didn't mean to make you laugh. They made you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to go back to being mad. So if you can do that accidentally, you can do it intentionally. Success is not accidental. It's intentional and deliberate. So
Okay.
teaching you a technique, I teach the techniques in the book on how to be more mindful, right? And mindfulness is just sitting there breathing. Guess what? We breathe all day long, and still people still kill people.
Yeah.
What we
Kill them
do,
while they're breathing.
why they breathing, and breathe even more. But the problem is we're not learning how to navigate through those breaths. So teaching you how to do that and not recognize that. Guess what? And also that superiority, not believing that he's got the right to feel just as much as I feel. So I'm already mad because I ain't getting my way. But then also, I mean, because I'm the right one. And if you get this mindset, so once we start retraining some of these things, because it's not intentional, like I said, it's not intentional. And I said characteristics. I didn't say women are narcissists. I didn't say that. I said a lot of the characteristics fall
Mm-hmm.
heavily in that side. And Miss Tracy, I think who that said? I think I saw something. Somebody said something about the men start out with finances or something of that nature.
Oh yeah, that was that's Trace. She's saying, but
Okay,
there's so many men who lead with what
yeah,
they can
I got it.
offer
I got
materialistically.
it. And guess what? And there's so many more women that lead with what they can show their body, their booty. And then and they lead with it, coming out of the club, coming with this going on, I'm getting fit, and as soon as they get married, say, forget it, say, I got him now. That's not fair either.
Hmm.
Right? And so both people have to do a better job of getting to know each other and stop falling in love with that thing. It's not wrong. It's not wrong with falling in love with the thing, but there needs to be some substance with it in order to keep it. I ain't say love, falling in lust with the thing. If that's what
The
you want.
lust, yeah, probably lust.
All right. There's two different things we gotta look at then. Because for one, people say, well, he should love me for me. That's bull. That's bull crap. I'm gonna say bull crap. That's bull crap. Because nobody's gonna love you from you or like you for you. They can only like for what they see when they first see you or what you
Yeah.
present as. And too many people are coming out as being an imposter.
Mm.
Right? So not everybody is gonna be the person that we're talking about here, but there are a lot of people that send out their representative.
Wow.
And that's what's happening. Then we got two people sending the representative. Now you're married and you don't like each other.
Yeah.
No, nobody likes each other. And then women are taught on the other side, which talk about too, which ain't right for them, to be taught that I can't be wrong because I'm a woman. I have to be the right person. I have to be this. So now it's an unfair pressure. I talk about the two on women. When women have to be, it's like we're saying something that's have to be taken off a man's plate. Something has to be taken off a woman's plate too. And allow a woman to be a woman, to be human. You don't have to come out all the time with, just like we see the makeup and we see this subconsciously though, they're putting on that same type of makeup too. They're pretending to be something they're not when they're not comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's one thing I want to make sure if I'm gonna get with you, I want to know that you can fart, that you're crap. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, you could be a real person. On the other side, I might have a chance of getting in some other. You might be a little fun to deal with. But
Fun, right? Yeah.
going back, I want real people. A lot of people aren't able to be real. So if you can't be happy with somebody, you can't be happy apart from with them either. So that's what I really wanted to really double down. A lot of them leaving out because I don't want y'all to actually get the book. But there's a lot in there that I want people to kind of look at to see how can we even lay playing field. It's not about one person getting their needs. This book is about both people getting their needs met and being okay. And it's okay if what I like is what you like. And we can agree to say it's okay. I'll find another avenue. I don't need you to be all this for me because you're human.
So
What you about to say, Doc?
right. Excuse. So and yeah, Tracy was. I was taught that men are thermostat and women are thermometer, but I'd rather be a thermostat. Thank you, Trace. Good for you, Trace.
Yeah, very good. And you don't know how to do that if you haven't been that person, you haven't been working on it. Because something will get in your inside and you'll feel like you're wrong.
Right.
Just like even in Christianity, there's a lot of things, oh, we shouldn't do this as a Christian. We shouldn't do that's BS because it's the way you've been taught. But in that, the Bible says you reap what you sow. And sometimes the best gift you can give somebody is consequences because you ain't giving that Negro or that male or that female, whatever consequences, they'll keep doing the same thing.
So but I want to go back to that question that I asked just to make it clear for the audience here. I see some of that we've got some people kind of coming on in. Some you know how it always happens at the late hour, but y'all come on in. Can you stick with us, Doc, for about 10 more minutes?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I canceled what I was supposed to do tonight.
Man, look, brother, I appreciate it. I can't look. We don't generate proceeds or profits. So I can't pay your hourly rate, brother. But we appreciate it. But I wanted to make sure to get back. Yeah, for our viewers, what was your answer in the end or recommendation for that couple where one person might have been closer to me, where I'm ready to just, if it's simple, let's just resolve it and not. But how do you?
A good rule I have in my house, right? And I had to create this rule, right? After 10 o'clock, for me in my house, we're not talking about anything serious, right? And the same thing about it, you can say the same thing if you need to not talk about something serious, even in the midst of a day. Because what I will find out is, especially early on in my marriage, there'll be conflict. And I'm trying not to get into it. Now I get down this rabbit hole. And now we're going to spend an hour, 2 hours. And the next day come and I couldn't get no sleep. And she going to sleep over there snoring. And then we didn't get anything resolved. One of the things that I find, especially open couples, if you allow that person to have space, maybe as they say, not right now, we're gonna talk about don't let them avoid, because a lot of people will avoid and try to avoid the situation. Maybe tomorrow or next day we set a time to meet, right? But by the time the next day comes, that person's thermostat already turned down. So then tomorrow, they didn't even remember what they want to talk about. Like, because it's so insignificant, so many things that are insignificant. And really there's a layer of other things that you really were mad at sometimes that cause you to get in a situation that some people can just sit down for a few minutes and move away from it. They can have a healthy conversation. And sometimes you recognize you didn't need to have the conversation because it wasn't as bad as you thought.
So I'm sorry. Do you recommend it? I'm sorry. I'm just hitting on this one more time because I want to make it real plain for the viewers because this has come up a lot, and like I say, even my own personal life. Do you recommend? Let's say people, especially if they're living together or whatnot, do you recommend that? Okay, let's say they're yelling. Tempers are high temperatures as well, cursing at each other. All this, man, they almost in each other's face. Should somebody leave if it gets to that level? Can
Well,
they go to a different room in the house? Or what?
That's the thing. That's the thing. The only person you can control is yourself. And I tell to all my therapy clients, and people, well, how can I make him? No, you can get the wrong idea. If you want me to make him, you can't make nobody do nothing. But when you start doing things correctly, guess what? That person is taught how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. So when they're going off the rampage, I've done this sometimes, I promise you. And my wife, she I ain't gonna say it, but she was irritated.
Can she hear it? I don't know if she's tuning
Look,
in.
she's in another room. But I ain't gonna. I am who I am.
Okay.
My motto in life: you can love me, leave me, or tolerate me, but I ain't gonna leave here lying for nobody. Right? but I would sometimes because I'd already said I'm not doing it. I'm not going to another room. And guess what? It eventually happens after she's talking to this. She shut up. But she was on the edge of the bed like she's gonna fall off, because she didn't want me to get close to her, which is fine. But
yeah,
it saved us from going down into the pits of hell and bringing it back up. And when you're mad, that's the best speech that you'll ever regret. Saying things out of anger. So guess what? You have to be sometimes, I ain't say the bigger person, just in that moment, the healthy person to move. And both of y'all have to be the healthy person sometimes. It might be her next time. It might be me next time, whatever it might be. And now through our process, we've learned how to process through this stuff. But I would say, yes, and especially if there's any violence, now you got to go through some other stuff. You need to see what is it in you. We need to go get some help, some professional help to kind of see what's going on with that. But in just regular arguing, most of the time with stuff you're arguing about ain't about nothing at all. And most times people are seeing things from the wrong lens. I call it the double Dutch effect. All right, everybody seen the little kids outside jumping, doing double Dutch.
Yeah,
right?
wondering where to come in at.
Yeah, when to come on. Most of the time when arguments happen, especially when you're mad, nobody's listening to the other person. They're just waiting on their turn to get in. So you're not resolving anybody. You're just trying to prove yourself right. And in the midst of it, if you do listen, you're listening to get something to go with your point, but you're not listening to understand. If you're not in a place to listen, to understand, and regulate your emotion, you're fighting a battle that you're not going to win. And you guess what? If one of y'all win, both of y'all lose, y'all together. And that's what people don't recognize. Our goal is to have a win-win situation and scenario in every aspect of our lives. And this book is to shed a light, right, on it, but help us to see how we can not just coexist together, but love each other together forever. Because it's been proven that people can stay in love with each other, but most of the time what happens is, even they stay together, they don't like each other.
So I heard from different people that you should have love, but it's more important to actually like each other that makes marriages last.
And love is subjective to who we can't explain what that really. Yeah, I rather like and be at peace, and that's what people find out too. Most time with guys, I don't think it's an accident either. In the Bible, it talks about it's better to live on the corner of a rooftop than in a house with a course woman. Rather be on the faucet dripping on. Men are wired differently in some aspects. We like it a lot. But I liken it to be a set of keys or a key to get broken. This key part's like this part's like this, right? But we keep trying to fit it together in any kind of way we can. We just got to mesh and coexist together. And understand that this end is different, but we got a lot more in common than we don't have in common. But kind of recognizing that, hey, your needs are just as important as mine. Let's see how we can help each other get our needs met. Even if we get it met somewhere else with something else, not somebody outside your marriage, but maybe a friend with some aspect. Because there's some stuff that I like. My wife is an interior designer. I mean, she's amazing. She can have you on HGTV TV right now, how good she is. But I'm not the person to show these designs to and care. I support her. I help her with her marketing. I
Yeah.
put people on the other side. I'm a mixed martial artist. I'm number one in the nations of amateur, 2007. She's not gonna come do not one martial arts class,
Right.
and I can't put that on her. If you love me, you'll be in my gym. That's your unhealthy junk. That's not her. Now you want somebody to be somebody that they're not, and that's what happens more. And it's
Okay.
our women too, especially with women. A lot of times, there are some guys that have to, but wanting them to be the girlfriend that you can't stand anyway. Most women can't stand women. They mad with them, they nag with them, they fuss and fight with them. Look at the housewives, the Atlanta all stuff. They go back and forth, But then you want this man to be a woman that you don't even freaking like.
Mm.
Let him be him. And you do your thing, let him do his thing. Y'all both been come together. A lot of dudes coming to be yes men. You seen them. I've seen the old men.
Oh yeah, we've seen them.
Yes, yes, dear. Yes.
Yeah.
Then when the wife leave the room, like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And then they're finding somewhere to be a man at because they're only being quiet because they want peace. Their peace overrides their needs. That's what we find too. A lot of times women leave because they ain't happy. A lot of times men don't leave because they ain't happy. They might some of them step out, do whatever, they still stay there. They're leaving because they're not happy.
Hmm.
And that's not a good way to leave because you're not happy. When we can all sit and work on these things, because we got to have some components that we like. But then we go, and a lot of times, more women, I think sometimes, and the guys do it too, allow more women in their stuff and in their business, and they're giving this advice. But what happens is we're more friends with people that we're like. So now you're getting the same type of advice that fit what you need to fit. What you need to get with somebody else. So get to therapist. Let them know, no, you need to sit down and you need to be quiet sometimes.
Mm.
And listen. And allow him to speak too. And both of you be quiet, but it need to be done in a respectful way. Both people respect each other. Both people should say what they feel. And don't get put into this map of thinking that this is control or this person has been a narcissist because he can speak how he feels. We can't have two heads. If you got two heads, one of them a freaking monster. It's impossible.
Hmm.
It's impossible.
You know, this is we've got so many great comments, and I know we can't read them all out loud, but I'd love to take. I know we're over time. I know, and I know Doc said he's open, but I know that we want to make sure to keep it kind of similar. Kind of respect the time. So we would love to have two questions. Anybody who's got the next two questions before we go ahead and call it a night.
Can I say something on
love
Doc?
to hear
The
from
doctor
you.
said, Doc, she
Go
said,
ahead.
when the discussion becomes on Tracy Banks an argument, you only care about being right. And I said that earlier. That's true. You got to recognize also too, if it ain't going nowhere, why are you steady having the same conversation? He done said his point. You done said your point. And
Yeah.
then going into the past to dig up stuff from the past. We can't go in the past. Leave that past stuff out. You did this a couple years ago. I remember you talking. Leave that stuff alone. If we've said something and I've said my point, no matter how much you try to explain to me, you ain't gonna make me change my mind. I know what I feel. I know what I see.
That's right. That's right. Next to some women, men and women, try to control, try to make their partner be someone that they want to be, but yet they themselves are free to change to become that person. Yeah, absolutely. While we want to take two more questions, I thank you all for hanging with us. Okay, so if there's two more, I know we've got some folks dropping off, so we'll let you. I want to let you know. Oh, by the way, this tonight on WJTV channel 12, we're gonna do a quick spotlight. We filmed earlier today on WJTV. We're talking about hypertension in the state of Mississippi. We gave a couple of statistics. We're talking about, everybody knows what it is with high blood pressure, but we talked about the linkage to other things, other disease process. And we also talked about the importance of blood pressure control and exercise in children. So it's going to be a great little spotlight, only literally like maybe 2 minutes long. You know how those news clips are. 10 o'clock tonight, we'll be on there, and we're talking about that just for a few minutes. So I don't know at what point in the news they'll air it, but we've been working. We've done a few segments with WJTV. But Doc, I want to go ahead and give you the floor, man, to let everybody know again, who was, for the people who weren't here, and even if you were here, you can hear it again because then it starts to sink in. You know where they can find you, if you're taking new clients or not, and how, where they can purchase your book. Anything else you want to share?
Thanks, Doc. What the book is on Amazon. Is also Kindle. I'm gonna have an audio book, probably the audio version coming out probably next week, which we're working on. I'm really getting ready to start up a podcast in his defense, where people can get on and say how they feel, and women can talk, and we can talk it out and give solutions to see how you feel, see how men feel, vice versa, and also on my page, I'm about to get started up, which is now my Instagram page. We'll start doing some live feeds on there, letting people in, kind of like this, but trying to get them in. It's Dr. Marshall Thompson Jr. Dr. Marshall with 2 L's, Thompson Jr. And then you can hit me up on Instagram there, and that's something really that I'm really focusing hard right now, really pushing this pretty hard. I really want to get out there because I really want to help couples, because if we can't help couples, we can't help families, because without the family being in the right situation it should be in, we're going to keep falling out. That's really what's going on in our community. I want to shed some spotlight on some help. It ain't too much that you can go through. You can't go through. I've seen people come through infidelity, man, and have a better relationship than they had before because they start following the principles. They had to follow principles, and they really realized that this person wasn't just being an asshole, being selfish. Sometimes it just wasn't getting met. So she wasn't getting her needs met now, or it was ignored because I wanted to, like Dexter said, people want to change the other person. I want this person to be who I want them to be. Allow people to be who they are. You're not going to change somebody's personality. There's some things that you can kind of tweak and ask them to look at.
No, they are who they are.
They are who they are. And you got to recognize, allow people to be who they are. Because if not, you're going to end up not liking them, and they're going to end up not liking themselves.
Wow. Man, that's amazing, brother. Are you taking, Dexter, well, I'm going to get to that when I do my closing, Dexter. We're going to talk about the Black Men in Balance Summit. But Dr. Thompson, are you taking on new clients, both individual, couples?
Very few right now. I'm pretty packed. But I do squeeze some people in. Sometimes I'm up late, all right, because people want to get squeezed in. But I do have another guy that's really amazing, which is one of my mentors that I refer to when I'm not able to. Yes, you can also email me at dr. It's a dot in this one. Marshall Thompson Jr. at gmail.com. Dr. MarshallThompsonJr at gmail.com. And we can see how long the list is, the wait on that as well. But I love this, man. This is what I do. I'm not just talking on the side of my neck. I've lived so much of it. I've seen it come from a household that was, I've seen a lot. And I've tried to do my best to try to help people. I'm one of those people who I came back to do this not because I need it financially, but I came back to do it for free to kind of help people, even though I have to charge for my hours and my time. But I came to do it free in the South Jackson area, West Jackson area for the kids that I'm trying to get set up in the young adults as well, psychoeducation.
That's awesome, man. We put up your contact email. And Dexter, we're going to close with that last question, Dexter. Well, actually, I'm going to do the question and we'll talk about Black Men in Balance Summit, and then we'll get out of here. Dexter says, this is the last question. How important is therapy if you see and notice that you have a dysfunction or a mental disorder?
Oh, man. I'm going to say it like this. How serious would it be if you noticed that you were losing a lot of blood and you had a cut on your arm or your leg before you bleed out? How long you have, Doc?
Yeah, it depends on what artery, but not long. Not long.
Well, you don't want to play with that. So
no way.
I think that I think there are a lot of the mental aspects that are out of line that are causing a lot of the health issues that doctors are seeing and not realizing that people are going through a lot. And so because of that, now it trickles down and now maybe causes some high blood pressure. A whole lot of other things trickle down. I think they both can affect each other because, of course, if somebody is having a lot of health complications, it can cause them to be depressed and go through some other things, right? But it's very important that we look at these things because they're easy to go over and not pay attention to because we feel like I made it this long. I've been this good with it. No, you ain't. No, you haven't. That's why you're running all these people away. All right, so it's very important. I would say don't wait. The longer you wait, the harder it is to work on it, which you can work on it. But it's like analogy, my mentor from martial arts, Lord Irvin, used to talk about, and I'm going to use his words, people would have a lot of shit in their head and then concrete on top of it. So, and then you put another layer, more concrete, more concrete, more concrete. So now it's hard to try to get that stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Get to
Impossible.
it. It's impossible. And then it takes so long to get it out. So the quicker you go, the easier it is to get it out. Now, does that mean that you should run from it if you've been healthy for a while? No, because sometimes you get sick anyway, and you get tired. You get to a place and you're more prone to fix things because you've seen so much turmoil and so many relationships that have died. And we sit in our relationship, even boundaries. Sometimes you got to say this, and I'm gonna be done, Doc. You be able to set boundaries with your people. I don't care if it's your mom. If your mom is calling, talking crap about your husband, talking crap about your wife, and people say, "Oh, you ain't supposed to say nothing." Yeah, Mom. With all due respect, please don't mention anything about my spouse again. And if you do, I'm just letting you know that I'm gonna hang up. Okay? Well, you can't do that. Mom, I love you. And then the next time they call, you got to set those boundaries. Say, love you, Mom. Talk to you later. Hang up and don't answer. And eventually, she's going to get the picture and stop doing it. I don't care how healthy she is. Boundaries. That's a book by Townsend and Cloud. Boundaries. When they say no, when they say yes, how to say no. It's phenomenal. And it's a Christian basis. And even this book has a lot of scriptures in it I'm breaking down to help it make better sense, a lot of analogies. But yeah, that's about it.
Man, look, this has been absolutely amazing. I know you guys know it. Y'all feel it. Thank you for hanging with us a little bit later than usual. Dexter, so look, September 13th, so not this weekend, next weekend, Black Men in Balance Summit, New Jerusalem Church, Old Canton Road location, doors at 11:30, event starts 12 noon, 12 to 3 p.m., and free health screening. So yours truly will be there as one of the featured speakers. And man, we got to do this again, brother. This was second time. Second time's a charm. Third time be even sweeter. And we'll have to get you with Dexter, man. Let's get together and discuss some things. We got some work to do.
Yes, thank you. And please apply this stuff, guys. Information without implementation is just entertainment. And yeah, I'm holding women accountable. It's somebody got to. I ain't afraid of you.
Yeah, like Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you.
Bust a move.
Bust a move. Well, thank you so much. If you'll just stay with me, brother, after we go off live, just if you'll hang in the
Yes,
backstage. So thank you guys so much. This has been another fantastic episode of Telehealth Tuesday. Next week, we will have Mr. Lance Griffith. We're bringing him back to talk about finances. He was here last year. Because that would be episode 57, I think. Man, we've gone over a year. Every single Tuesday for over 1 year. Such a blessing. He's going to talk to us about, he's with Merrill Lynch. So, he's a money guy and financial analyst and financial planner. And so if you haven't gotten things right with your finances, this is the time. Next Tuesday at 7:00 p.m., Lance Griffith with Merrill Lynch Corporation. So if there's anybody else you want us to see, if you want to see Dr. Thompson again, and anybody you want us to run it back, I've got Dr. Jaylene Sims on the Instagram on the other side. She doesn't know it, but I'm already putting her hat in the ring. She's going to be with us from the MMSA. Thank you so much for participation. All of our usual supporters. We want to recognize you all. Thank you so much. So we'll see you next week at 7. Email us, DM us if there's somebody you want to see or if you want to be featured as well. This is the place where we treat and discuss mind, body, and soul. And remember that true wealth begins with good health. See you next week.